It was an ordinary day in the suburbs when a resident discovered a body in the street and called the police. But when officers arrived at the scene, they found something that shocked them. There was no blood or obvious signs of violence, which made it difficult to understand how this person had died. The victim's identity remained a mystery for some time until they were finally identified. But even after they learned who it was, the police were still clueless about what had happened here. This case baffled them. They couldn't figure out why someone would do this, or what could have possibly led up to these events. And the longer the investigation went on, the more theories they came up with, each being more bizarre than the last. So let us take a look at the strange case of the body in the street and see if we can find out what really happened here. On November 2009, a resident from a quiet neighborhood in Davenport, Iowa, called the police and reported finding a dead body while she was out walking her dog. When the officers arrived at the scene, they found a man lying face down in the middle of the road. He was fully clothed, and there was nothing on the surface that suggested how he ended up there. At first glance, it didn't seem like the man had been the victim of foul play. His clothes weren't ripped, and there were no wounds or blood stains anywhere on his body. It looked like he was asleep, except he wasn't breathing, and there was a pair of empty sockets where his eyes should have been. This was quite unsettling for the residents who lived in that neighborhood. It was a nice, quiet place, and something like this had never happened before. They soon discovered that the stranger had been shot twice in the head, but since there was no blood, it was hard to tell when this had happened or even if it was related to his death. In addition, there were no signs that suggested the shooter had fled the scene. Nobody had witnessed anything. It was as though this man just appeared out of nowhere and died sometime during the night. The only thing that provided a lead was the car parked nearby, a blue four-door sedan. It turned out the vehicle had been stolen from a local dealership, but that was about the only solid piece of evidence the police had to work with. They had no idea who the victim was or what had happened here. The news quickly spread throughout the city, and soon the whole country was talking about it. Every day, more theories emerged, and the pressure mounted on the police to solve the case. But it wasn't easy. The victim wasn't carrying any identification, and none of the residents recognized him. Even after releasing a sketch, nobody came forward with any information. The police were completely in the dark, and it seemed like the case would go nowhere. They had no suspects and no leads, and the mystery deepened with each passing day. After weeks of searching, the police finally managed to identify the victim. His name was Johnny Cash Van Meter Jr., and he was from the nearby town of LeClaire. But even after learning his name, the police knew very little about him. He didn't have a criminal record, and nobody in his family or among his friends could think of a reason why somebody would want him dead. All they knew was that John had been involved in a motorcycle accident 5 years earlier that left him paralyzed from the waist down. He spent the next few years in rehabilitation trying to learn how to live his life with such a severe disability. But despite all the challenges he faced, he remained optimistic and never gave up hope for a brighter future. So when the police informed his family that he had been found dead in a street, they were shocked. They couldn't think of anyone who would want to hurt him. After the autopsy results came back, they learned that John had been shot twice in the back of the head, which proved that this was no accident. But what could have motivated somebody to do such a thing? The family didn't know of any enemies John might have had. He was always friendly with everyone around him and never had a bad word to say about anybody. As the investigation continued, the police uncovered that John had been living a double life. He had a wife and kids who knew nothing about his other life. He had a secret girlfriend and was involved in illegal activities on the side. He sold drugs and stole cars for a living. The police wondered if maybe one of his customers or partners in crime wanted him dead, but nobody came forward to claim responsibility. To make matters worse, there were rumors that the police were covering up certain details about the case, and that they already knew who was responsible, but they were hiding it from the public. People began to question whether the cops had planted the evidence or not. Why else would they release so few details about the case? Why wouldn't they follow up on the rumors? And why did they stop searching for John's killer after 3 months? To this day, John's murder remains unsolved. We may never know what really happened to him. But let me share my thoughts. If you're watching this video, then you probably haven't heard about this case before. And that's because the media didn't cover it. They didn't think it was important. I mean, a drug dealer gets murdered. Who cares, right? The truth is that there are thousands of unsolved cases just like this one. Thousands of families will never get the justice they deserve. And if we don't do something about it, then the murderers will get away with their crimes. I've been working on this project for a long time now. I'm close to finishing it, but I need your help to do it. Please consider supporting me. You can get exclusive content and early access by signing up. Let's bring this home together. What do you think happened in this case? Was this an execution, or was John in the wrong place at the wrong time? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to support us. Thanks for watching.